Good afternoon, it's Tony Hayes again from Paranormal Investigation UK. Today's date's the 11th of February 2022, and we're back onto the Chester investigation, this time looking at two events that occurred, one on the 24th of July 2021 and another on the 27th of July 2021. Now, since we've had this case, and those of you that have been following it, and appreciated all your comments, and particularly your emails and messages. In normal circumstances, in general private investigations, what we'll generally do is monitor on a daily basis, and it's all about factually recording whatever it is that you're dealing with. With the movers, we've been able to analyse them. I think it's only right that I cover everything, because one of the events on the 24th of July is what I call a personal experience. And let me read this out to you. This is coming up to about 20 to 10 on the 24th of July. What day is that? This would be a Saturday night at 20 to 10. He works with a lot of American clientele, so that's the reason why sometimes he's there at night. And what he's reported, because he actually rung me up over this, was that there was an unusual noises that started to occur around about 9:30 on the Saturday night, which he couldn't find a rational explanation. He checked outside, checked inside, couldn't find any reason for this. And this is a typical example of what you have when you're dealing with private homes. This is one of the reasons we got behind with the Chester case footage, is because we're prioritising family houses that have got a young family rather than a business premises, which is nobody actually lives there. It just simply gets worked in part-time. So this is a typical example of those that are investigators, that you've got to place yourself in somebody's situation that may be getting fearful when something occurs to them, this personal experience, and they cannot find a rational explanation for it. So this was a perfect opportunity really to just discuss this aspect of it. So what he's saying is he could hear this unusual sound, and he couldn't place what it sounded like, couldn't find out where it was coming from, that type of thing. Now, an interesting one with this is that with the way that the human ear works, is that within the ear it's got receptors. And so, for example, if you're walking on the street and somebody drops a pound coin on the floor, your head immediately looks to where that sound's come from. If it rolls away in silence, you're not going to find it. So it's the initial sound, and you'll always instinctively look towards where the sound comes from. And this is how the ear works. There's molecules that sort of ride on the sound, picked up by the receptors, and then it'll tell you pretty accurately where it comes from. Now, when it gets more interesting with sounds, particularly on a paranormal basis, is that those people that wear hearing aids, either the inner ear or the outer ear type, the ability to know where the sound is coming from is lost, because it works differently, because it's not travelling on any molecules. It's simply coming from like an amplifier, either within the ear or just on top of the ear. So you will often hear the sound, but you won't know where it's coming from. So anyone with wearing hearing aids, for example, needs to be careful when they're crossing a road, because they may hear the sound, but they will not be able to detect where it's coming from. Now, when we're dealing with paranormal sounds in particular, this is another type of phenomena which is quite unique. It's almost as if you hear the sound, but you don't know where it's coming from. We have this with the rap sounds that we probably in Chester, it's probably given around over 1,000, 1,100 raps in total. When we've actually heard this with our own ears, we don't know where the sound is coming from. The nearest we've been able to do is say, for example, ceiling area, skirting board area. We're not too sure where it comes from, and I've been sat there spinning my head around thinking, where on earth does that sound come from? Very unique to sounds of a paranormal basis, and this is what the owner actually experienced this night, on this Saturday night, 9:30. 5 or 6 sounds that spooked him, particularly because he didn't know what was causing it, and more so, he didn't know where it was coming from. Sometimes he has been able, if the rat's quite close to him, he has been able to turn his head and spot it. But on other occasions, you simply have no idea where it comes from. So what I'm actually going to do with this is I'm going to include it in movie 381, which is what I'm dealing with now, and I'll copy that and paste that general note down, because it's important that I note that down in the documentation, so at some point in the future somebody wants to refer to it, and what it does is it tells a story, it builds up a picture, a true reflection of this incredible building in Chester that continues to be active, as so. That's the one on the 24th. So it's just a personal experience. It's important you note it down. Personal experience is incredibly important. It's not a question you don't always need. Sometimes you need to move your mind away from saying, I've just heard an old 5 or 6 and strange noises. I don't know what it was. Did you record it? Obviously you didn't record it, otherwise I sent it. Just because we haven't got the evidence doesn't mean to say that it's valuable evidence. It is valuable evidence, and you record it down accordingly. So that's that one. We then jump to the 27th of July, and we're back on the window. A couple of days before this event, this would be on the 22nd of July, that ball lit up. We're now on the 27th, and this ball now lights up. The last one was around about 11 o'clock at night. So what I did notice on the 22nd of July was that there appeared to be around the ball a change in the environment, only slightly, but it could be matrixing of the infrared and the camera itself, but there was seemed to be a change in the environment just before it lit up. I made a note of it, but I didn't make any great fuss about it, just a general observation. So this is another one. So let's have a look at this. Show the volumes out. Those of you who've got Media Player, it's fine to look at initially. You can go into enhancements, play these settings, and you can turn it down to slow and look at it that way. So I slow it down a little bit. I can't see any change there. Because if you look at this, this is the infrared shining through the clear plastic and onto the window ledge. So you would expect that if that ball did move, and which is the reason why the ball lights up, that this would change, and it doesn't. So I'm actually going to put that up as a false positive. I'll make a note of it, but those who are following the case closely will know that I'm becoming increasingly suspicious of these balls, of just how valuable they are, is a form of evidence. So I will note it, but I'm not going to make any great fuss of it. The thing being thrown around the room is a different ball game. I'll get very interested then, but at the moment it may well be, and there's a lot of the reports that are coming out now, when these balls are tested, they can just sit there and not vibrate at all, and yet still light up, which is highly suggestive of some sort of just fault within it, which is making it to give you a false alarm. So if you're using these cat balls on the any form of investigation, I wouldn't throw too much importance on them. That's all I'm saying. So that's the 24th and the 27th of July out of the way. So it's a very quick movie today. Just an update on them two events. I'll record that again as I normally do on the report, and we move on. And the next movie we come to will be movie 3A2. Okay, bye for now.